morning, and it's another beautiful Wednesday morning from the studio of JDN Radio 101.5 FM, broadcasting for us today at 1 Short Street Joyce B Road, Okeado, in the city of Ibadan, Nigeria. Welcome to the newspaper review. My name is Abiodun Samson for today, the 22nd of April 2026. And this morning, I have 4 dailies with me this morning. I have Daily Post, the Nigerian Tribune, The Nation, and also the Punch newspaper. So call everyone as we dish out the headlines that made it to the front page of the dailies for this morning. And this morning, I will be starting with The Nation with this headline that says, Oyedele replaces Edun as Minister of Finance. Edun leaves Finance Ministry after 32 months economic reform tenure. Power Minister Adelabu set to quit FEC for Oyo governorship bid. Silva, ex-general, others charged with coup plotting. Tinubu pledges more support for state. And those are the headlines from The Nations for this morning, the 22nd of April, 2026. And on the Nigerian Tribune for this morning, I have this headline that says, Apprehension as Supreme Court hears PDP ADC appeals. With this rider that says, more defections at House of Reps. PDP loses 5 members, APC 2. And also on the front page, Tinubu removes Edun, names Oyedele as Finance Minister. Dama to replace Dagiwa in Housing Ministry. Also on the Nigerian Tribune, Damangam orders commence contempt proceeding against Anyanwu Amupita. Still there, UBEC unlocks 100 billion on access funds to boost basic education. Federal government to arraign alleged coup plotters on 13-count charge today. El Rufai to remain in ICPC custody till June. NAV airstrikes eat Sambisa, kill terrorist. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, no leaders can govern without making mistakes, Jonathan replies article. Still there, COVID-19 returns to Nigeria. Cross River confirmed cases, activate emergency response. And those are the stories from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune for this morning. To the newspaper review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and I'm moving forward to the Punch newspaper for this morning with this headline that says, alleged coup plot, Silva, 5 others arraigned, officers' wives seek justice. Oyo 2027, Adelabu may resign after Tinubu meeting. Trial, El-Rufai may miss ADC presidential primary. NCDC launches contact tracing after Cross River COVID-19 case. PDP turmoil, court moves against INEC chair, Anyang. More PDP reps defect to APC and ADC. Gunmen kill female man-o-war officer in Oyo Highway ambush. Abure vows appeal after appeal court affirms Usman LP chair. 192 die in power sector incident, and those are the story from the front page of the Punch newspaper for this morning. And moving forward to Daily Post for this morning, Kebbi Court orders probe of ADC factional chairman over contempt allegations. Nigerian government officials complicit in facilitating terrorism, Ted Cruz tells the U.S. Senate. EFCC raises alarm over impersonators, fake stings operations in Nigerian cities. Alleged incest, intrigue as 64-year-old grandfather allegedly impregnate a teenager. And also, OSHO gubernatorial protesters questions transfer of former reg. 167 senior police officers face disciplinary committee. And also on the Daily Post, UMTH opens probe into alleged medical negligence as activists demands refunds. And those are the stories from Daily Post for this morning, the 22nd of April, 2026. And I will be diving into the stories from the headlines that made it to the front page. I will be starting with The Nation with this headline that says Oyedele replaces Edun as Minister of Finance. Exactly 32 months after he was sworn in, the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, Adebayo Olawale Edun, was yesterday replaced. Assuming the position is the erstwhile Ministers of State Finance, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. Oyedele joined the Federal Executive Council (FEC) on March 16 when he took the oath of office inside the President's office at Aso Villa. Wale Edun was appointed Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on August 16, 2023. He was sworn in on August 21, 2023 and left office on April 21, 2026. Also dropped yesterday in a minor cabinet shake-up, the President Tinubu was the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmad Musa Dangiwa, who will be replaced by Mustaqiu Rabe Daba after screening and confirmation by the Senate. And the story continues on The Nations for this morning. On The Nation for this morning, Power Minister Adelabu set to quit FEC for Oyo governorship bid. Power Minister Adebayo Adelabu was last night at the presidential villa where he submitted his performance report and told President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of his plans to quit the cabinet. He also told him of his plans to seek the governorship ticket of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in Oyo State. He is expected to resign in the next few days, according to a statement from his office. The performance report contained a comprehensive details of his stewardship in the power sector over the past 2.5 years. The minister media advisor Bolaji Tunji last night said the minister outlined key milestone recorded under his leadership as power minister. The milestone include effort to stabilize electricity generation, strengthening transmission capacity, and implement reforms aimed at enhancing efficiency and service delivery across the power sector value chain. The statement quoted President Tinubu as commending the minister for his dedication and the progress recorded, particularly in laying a strong policy foundation for the transformation of the power sector. The statement reads, the president also granted his consent and blessings for the minister to pursue his governorship ambition. And the story continues on the Nations for this morning. Still the newspaper review on your dial 101.5 FM, JDN Radio Broadcasting for Raw. And I'm still on the Nation with this headline that says Tinubu pledges more support for state. Enugu stakeholders yesterday got President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's assurance of a stronger federal collaboration to drive development at the subnational levels. The president identified the Port Harcourt Enugu rail line, power sector reforms, and other critical infrastructures as some of the key projects that would receive sustained attention. The stakeholders, including former Senate President Ken Nnamani, former Governor Ifeanyi Ngwai, and Surveillance Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Kevin Aneke, his spouse Ngozi, and one-time Information Minister Frank Nweke Jr. were led by the Governor Dr. Peter Umba. Others in the entourage of President Tinubu at the State House were Elder Statesman Chief Jim Unwobodo, Senator Osita Ngo, former Ejike Umbaka, Bishop Christian Onya, Igwe Asadu, Osita Okechukwu, Dr. Don Cherry, and former Chief of Naval Staff, CNS Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala. Tinubu traced Nigerians' development and growth challenges to the failure of past administrations to adopt a serious long-term planning framework, particularly in the financing of critical infrastructures. And the story continues on the Nations for this morning. And moving forward to the Punch newspaper for this morning, alleged coup plot, silver, 5 orders a ring, officers' wives seek justice. The federal government will on Wednesday today arraign 6 individuals, including 2 retired senior military officers and a serving police inspector before the Federal High Court in Abuja over an alleged plot to wage war against Nigeria and overthrow the president. The defendants, retired Major General Mohammed Ibrahim Ghana, retired Naval Captain Erasmus Okegoba, Victor, Inspector Hamed Ibrahim, Zekiri Umaru, Buka Kazim Goni, and Abdulkadir Sani, are billed to appear before Justice Joyce Abdulmalik, also named in the charge but said to be at large, is former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timpre Sylvia. The defendants are facing 13 counts bordering on conspiracy, attempt to commit treason, terrorism, failure to disclose security intelligence, financing terrorism, and money laundering. The charge, filed on Monday by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and signed by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Rotimi Oyedepo San, accused them of offense ranging from alleged attempt to overthrow the government to terrorism-related financing. According to the prosecutions, the defendants allegedly conspired in 2025 to levy war against the state to overpower the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are also accused of failing to report the alleged knowledge of a planned treasonable act involving the Colonel Mohammed Halazan Marji and others. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. On the Punch newspaper, where this Atlanta says trial, El-Rufai may miss ADC presidential primary. A Kaduna State High Court on Tuesday ordered the former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai remain in the custody of the Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commission, pending a ruling on its bail application. The trial judge Darius Kohopo fixed the first week of June for ruling after listening to the arguments from both the prosecution and the defense on the bail request. With the development, the former governor may now participate in the activities leading to the presidential, governorship, and National Assembly primaries of the African Democratic Congress. By the Independent National Electoral Commission timetable, parties' primaries are to commence on April 23, 2026 and end on May 30, 2026. The ADC has yet to fix a date for its presidential primary, as the David Mark-led factions and the Nasir Bala-led factions battle at the Supreme Court over the party's authentic leadership. The Apex Court fixed today, Wednesday, for the hearing of an appeal arising from the leadership crisis in the ADC. El-Rufai is standing trial in an amended 9-count charge bordering the alleged fraud, abuse of office and corruptions. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. CDC launches contact tracing after Cross River COVID-19 case. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the Cross River State Government has confirmed a single case of COVID-19 in the state, activating emergency response measures while assuring residents there is no cause for panic. In a statement released on Tuesday night, the NCDC said the confirmed case has been isolated and was being managed in line with the national treatment guidelines. The patient is in stable condition and responding to care. Providing further details earlier in Calabar, the Commissioner for Health, Henry Ayok, discloses that the case involved a 53-year-old Chinese expatriate working in a company in Akamaka local government area. The confirmed case involved a 53-year-old Chinese expatriate working in Akamaka local government area. He explained that the patient initially presented mild symptoms and was later admitted to the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, where samples were collected and infections confirmed. The patient is currently receiving care at the state-designated isolation and treatment center and is responding well to treatment. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. And as you know that we want you to be part of the newspaper review in a few minutes on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And you can be part of that by joining us on all our social media handles on Facebook, JDN Radio 101.5 FM. You can drop your comment and also on our YouTube channel, JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And you can pull a call through to the studio on 07048 001015 and 08022102163. 07048001015 and 08022102163. And I will be moving forward with the stories on the Punch newspaper on PDP turmoil. Court moves against INEC chair, Hanyang. The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has issued a notice of consequences of disobedience of court order against the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Samuel Anyanwu, as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joash Amupiton. The court, in Form 48, dated 20th April 2026, cited by our correspondent, warns that they risk imprisonment if they fail to comply with its January 12, 2026 judgment, dismissing Anyanwu's suit challenging his expulsion from the PDP. In the Federal Capital Territory High Court, public notice in suit number CV/1050/2025, Anyanwu is listed as the respondent, while key PDP figures, including Damangom, representing the party's National Executive Committee, are listed alongside others as judgment creditors applicants, also listed as a matter of the neck. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Biola from Apata.
Good morning.
Good morning. See, I'm just interested in one thing here. This coup plotting case that will be dealt with today.
Okay.
I picked a section from what you read, and I'm really interested in it. That section that says, for people that could not report attempted coup, they will also be part of the people that will be judged today. I wish I can see that in televised live, so that we can all learn from it that treasonable offenses can be attached to issues of hearing and not talking about it. That's why I'm interested. I just want to see the final result of the judgment. The process, and I wish it could be done. Thank you. Thank you for the message.
All right. Thank you for your contribution. All right. Thank you for that contribution. You want the judgment to be televised. Okay, I know that they are hearing, and if it's possible, it will be done. And if it's not possible, then we get to gather the news and give you the details from JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And I'm still on the review. I'm still on the Punch newspaper for this morning. So if you want to be part of the conversation, or you have an opinion or contribution, or any of the headlines interest or trigger a response from you, you can drop your comment on our Facebook channel, and also you can drop it on our YouTube on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and also on JDN Radio 101.5 FM on YouTube. And you can also pull a call through on the studio line as well, and you can be part of the conversation this morning. It's still the newspaper review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And on Facebook, I have this from Dr. Mrs. Olibara from Owerri. She said, Nigerians have lost faith in the survival of democracy because the expected benefits are a mirage. Since the people remain the center and circumference of democracy, denying the same people voice in matters of mutual interest amount to catastrophe. Democracy is about the people. Any leadership that does not put the people on the priority list is not a viable one. So worrisome. So this is our own contribution for this morning. So thank you so much for that contribution. And thank you also for joining us, Koyim Akinkomi Ali on Facebook. We appreciate you for joining us this morning. It's still the newspaper review on your dial 101.5 FM. And on that note, I will be wrapping it up this morning on the newspaper review, as time is no longer on our side. But do not worry, if you still want to pull the code through, you can do that on the newspaper review in Yoruba language translation on this dial. Yes, In the next 5 minutes, they will be coming up on our phone Nirui, where you will get to be part of the conversation of the newspaper review in Yoruba language version. And do not forget that the newspaper review continues tomorrow, same time 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on your dial 101.5 FM. I remain Abiodun Samson, and do not forget that it's important that you get informed, and that is why we are broadcasting for all from JDN Radio 101.5 FM.
How you not there? How you not there? How you not there? Hey, your radio for Ibadan.